Why marriages succeed or fail. That's the topic. I'm Paul Friedman, founder of the Marriage Foundation, and I hope to share with you information that's going to help you in your marriage. And I know there's something going on, or you wouldn't be asking this question, obviously. And honestly, you're probably a woman. Men usually don't ask that question in sort of a vague way. They come in a male way, directly. Is my marriage failing? My wife left 6 months ago and I'm wondering if my marriage is over. So for those of you, now that doesn't mean that men can't hear this too, because it could be that you also are looking for the answer to this, and it's a worthwhile topic. So I'm going to share with you the killers of marriage, because I think that's going to help you. Now, these are listed in my books with a lot more detail. I describe this with more depth in the courses that I have, a course for men or a course for women. If your marriage is really sliding towards divorce, that you should consider those. But I always talk about the 3 killers, and then I add one. There's a 4th. And I have quite a bit of experience with this because I was a divorce mediator before I got into saving marriages, which is already a couple of decades ago. And I always wanted to know, I was curious, why is your marriage ending? Well, there's a number one killer that I noticed was in every single failing or failed marriage. Number one killer. And I spoke to all my friends who were marriage therapists and marriage counselors. And when I shared this with them, they went, yeah, it makes sense. And that killer is, I call it overfamiliarity. Overfamiliarity. And what does that mean? Well, think about it. When you first started dating, then you went out of your way to be nice. You were blanket nice. You were blanket considerate. Blanket good listener. Blanket good everything. You groomed well. Everything was right on, right? That's where you started. And then over time, you would test. Well, do I need to get a haircut? Do I need to do my nails? Do I need to bake cookies again? And as you became familiar with the, let's call it the tolerances of the one you were pursuing, you became more and more yourself. Not your higher self, but your ego self, the self that likes to just kick off your shoes, put them up on the couch and watch TV and eat chips. Your lower self. And you did this, you got lower and lower and lower as you became more and more familiar and saw you could get away with it. And this overfamiliarity ended up making you rude and nasty, a complainer, a criticizer, a condemner, what have you. It made you less user-friendly. It made you less lovely to be around because you didn't care so much, or you just didn't think, or you expected them to accept you as you are, right? So that's the first killer. It allows you to be rude, obnoxious, mean, scream, and all of these negative things. It's overfamiliarity. It's an attitude. That's the biggest killer. And that's what makes marriages fail. Second thing that makes marriages fail is not knowing, A, that communication in marriage is special because there's only two of you in this community. I call it the sacred space of marriage. So it requires a unique style of communication, a communication style using methods that are there only to make each other happy. When was the last time you asked yourself, is this going to make my spouse happy? So that's number two. The third, and this is a tough one, the third killer of marriages is a business deal mentality. Why? Because marriage is by definition spiritual. It's a spiritual involvement. It's actually a individual spiritual path that you take with another person. And a spiritual path means you're seeking the benefits of the unseen, the intangible. Love. This isn't getting mystical. This is not religious. Love is as spiritual as it gets. You can't touch it. You can't smell it. You can't taste it. But you know it's there. You can feel it because you're a soul. You're a soul. And don't let anyone ever tell you different. Don't ever let anyone tell you a soul is an abstract thought. Yeah, maybe you have a soul, blah, blah, blah. Don't buy that stuff. You're a soul. The business mentality of marriage is a attitude of, I will do for you if you do for me. I will make you feel good if you make me feel good. That's what I mean by a business deal. That's a tough one to get past because it goes to actually a fourth killer, which is expectations. If you put your expectations ahead of your spouse's needs, where is that going to get you? What are they going to do? How are they going to respond? What it means is you've lost the whole idea of what marriage is all about. What is marriage all about? If you understand what marriage is all about, there won't be a chance for failure. Won't even be a chance for failure. Marriage is all about, and these are two bottom line principles. Number one, you got married in order to be happier. Tell me you didn't. Number two is the way to happiness, universally true, can't ever not be true, is unconditional love. These are two bottom line principles that define a happy marriage. Then you have to incorporate the use of your free will, the use of your volition, to propel your marriage into the stratosphere. In other words, if you're listening to this, you're realizing it's up to you. It's not up to your spouse. It's 100% up to you. And for them, it's 100% up to them. Because if you follow these principles, there is no idea in your mind of, yeah, but they need to also. This is a BS idea that the psych community business has come up with in order to institute the word fairness into marriage, and the word fairness does not belong in marriage at all. Nothing in life is fair, nothing in marriage is fair. You try to get a fair business deal when you're exchanging goods and services for money, and that's it. But not in real life, not in real marriage. So now you know. If your marriage is following these principles, no chance of failure. If not, no chance of success. Now, don't try to do this on your own. Don't go, okay, I listened to this incredible video by Paul Friedman. He ran the Marriage Foundation, blah, blah, blah. He's cool. I like his style. I can do this. Yeah, you can. But I didn't come up with this stuff last night. There's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot of moving parts to a marriage. Study up on marriage by using one of my books. if your marriage is sliding towards divorce. And you'll know intuitively whether that's true or not. You don't have to ask anybody. You already know. Be honest with yourself. And if it is, then you need the course for men or the course for women to get it back on track. But more than that, I don't want you to be satisfied with a mundane, regular style old marriage. I want you happiness to be in the stratosphere. And you can have that. You can have where every single day you're going, oh my God, I've died and I've gone to heaven. Every single day could be that way for you, because marriage is an amazing vehicle, a spiritual vehicle to achieve unconditional love, which brings unlimited, infinitely expanding happiness and joy. Really. Okay. I hope this was helpful for you. I'm sure it was. And you can subscribe, you can click like, you can leave a comment, and you can share this. And blessings to you, blessings to your spouse, and blessings to your family. Thank you, and God